What's good, y'all? It's your boy Devkonn, and we are back with a brand new video. And yes, what is on your screen right now is real NBA 2K26 content that I was able to record at this year's Community Day. I was blessed to receive an invite for a second year in a row, so I want to say thank you to the 2K team and everybody that was there. So many familiar faces, so many new faces, and it's always great to see people and get the opportunity to make content for you guys early in the year. Now, today's video, I will be releasing my Play Now content, but essentially, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on the game, my reaction, and how I feel about the gameplay, because the most important thing to me is the gameplay, like just how the game feels. If you guys are unfamiliar with me, I go by the name Devkonn. I pretty much started my growth posting different NBA player mixtapes on TikTok, and my primary focus is to make super creative and fun content, as well as deliver different kinds of builds to you guys, you know, whether it's guards, forwards, bigs, it does not matter, but I do have a knack for builds such as power forwards, you know, small forwards and big men, tall guards, whatever it may be. So if you like to make tall builds, or you play 3, 4, the 5, you know, whether it's point forwards, inside bigs, outside bigs, it does not matter. I got y'all with the big players. If you are interested in my player content in the builder, I will be showing you guys all of that good stuff tomorrow at the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern. So before I get into my review, please drop a like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. You know, I worked pretty hard on everything I'm about to put out over this next week. And on top of that, I pretty much got no sleep. So I'm going to try to hold back on the super extreme over editing and just give you guys raw gameplay and kind of my thoughts in the game. My main niche is in the My Player section, you know, when it comes to park, rec, builds, pro-am, stuff like that. However, today I will be showing you guys a bunch of Play Now content. You guys will get to see me in the freestyle gym, as well as some My Team content. Everybody is going to have a great year, so let's get into it. Last year in 2K25, I know a big issue that a lot of people had with the game, you know, was the game speed, right? And this was addressed, you know, not too long ago by Mike Wang himself, that said this year's game speed will be about 10% faster than it was last year in 2K25. Now, after playing the game for a little bit, I can definitely confirm this is true. This is probably the main thing about this entire 2K that kind of changes everything, right? Because last year it did feel slow, especially if you were a big player. You know, taller guards had a hard time. You know, even smaller players, right? You know, maybe not as responsive as some people would have liked it to be. You know, some people said it was choppy, clunky, you know, felt like you were walking in cement. This game is definitely way faster, and I'm sure this is going to be great, not for just online players, but offline players as well. And really, in my opinion, like I said, this was the main issue with NBA 2K25. And I do think increasing the game speed is going to make it a lot more fun and enjoyable for a lot of different people. And we're going to roll that over into dribbling, right? I will not be giving you guys a dribbling tutorial today, but in case you guys do not pay attention to social media much, the momentum cross is back in the game. This one thing has already been talked about by Mike Wang himself. If you guys did not get the chance to go check out all of the questions that he answered, you guys can check out his X or Twitter page. But yes, the momentum cross is back in the game. We have different kinds of misdirections, such as behind the backs, you know, different crosses, tweens, heazies. And on top of this, guys, the game speed is 10% faster. So I think a lot of people that enjoyed dribbling throughout all the past 2Ks are going to have a good time this year. You know, I can't really come up with a comparison as far as other 2Ks, but I say it'd feel like a crossbreed of kind of like the later mid 2010 2Ks, such as like 17, 18, 19, with like a combination of like 23. It genuinely feels like they made a really big effort into balancing out all the different play styles, such as, you know, like I know there's dribble heads out there. You know, people that like to play big, you like to shoot, play stretch, you know, you're a sim head and you like to do realistic stuff, because pro play is still in the game, of course, and it got even more advanced. It really does not matter how you like to play the game or enjoy it. I think everybody's going to feel included this year and not feel like 2K is heading in one certain direction. Because I know a lot of people last year got a little nervous because the game was definitely getting a little bit more realistic. It was getting slower. But this year, we have really good dribbling back in the game, and we still have the amazing pro play features. So however you like to enjoy the game, I can confirm from my experience, which I played about, you know, maybe 7+ hours on the game straight, you are going to feel included in this game, I promise. But I don't really want to put a true label or comparison on the 2K, because each 2K has its own individual identity. But hopefully it does become one of the better 2Ks that we have all played in the last decade. Now, I told you guys about the game speed and the gameplay. It feels great. It looks great. We have really good dribbling back to the game. And now the other issue that a lot of people had a hard time with last year was the shooting. Now, I will say I did not really have a hard time shooting on this game, and if you do not know why yet, another point to Mike Wang, he did discuss that there would be no RNG this year. This will actually be the first NBA 2K that has absolutely no RNG. There has always been an element, I guess, in every game that we have gotten, whether it was big or small. So pretty much we're going back to green or miss. Obviously in pro, or like you play on rookie or whatever it is in my career, you can still make whites, but if you are playing online in higher difficulty game modes, it is pure green or miss with a pure green window. So if you are able to time your shot and master your shot, you can hypothetically just never miss. So people that are really good at the game can absolutely carry. Their ceiling is back to sky's limit. And one thing that was pointed out, I don't think height affects any of these things. And what I mean by that, if you have a 6'8 build with like an 89 3-pointer, you have a 6'3" build with an 89 3-pointer, it would have the same exact green window. So none of the heights affect that as long as you have the same rating. You know, the catch and shoot is a lot smoother. We do have the brand new quick catch and shoot feature, so you are able to shoot it very fast without the dip on any catch that you get. And of course, rhythm shooting did get a little bit more advanced this year. However, due to the pure green window, square shooting is back. You can go back to shooting square. You know, there's not really a particular advantage over using the stick. You know, you might be more comfortable with it now. If you were a previous square shooter like me and you switched to rhythm shooting this year, you can go back to using square. I'm sure that's what a lot of people will do. And it's just great to see. You know, I kind of feel like the game has completely went back to, you know, making it really skill based. So, you know, if you lose, you lose. You know, you can't really blame it on RNG or whatever it is. If you do miss an easy shot, you know, it could be your fault. And yes, once again, turning off your shot meter this year will give you a slight boost to your shooting. So all of the things I've talked about so far are looking really good at the moment. And I consider these three things, the big three of just 2K gameplay in general. You know, the game speed, the dribbling, and the shooting all feels way better. It's all skill based. You know, nothing is random. Things feel responsive. And I'm not just saying this, right? Like, guys, I played on a PlayStation 5. Same thing I have at home. And keep in mind, guys, like, this game hasn't fully been released. People haven't gotten to lab for hours and hours to find the best animations and all that good stuff. Now, I am not the best dribbler in the entire world because, like I said earlier, I try to represent all of my NBA player builds and, you know, my big men, my power forwards, my small forwards, all my taller builds. But, you know, I did mess around with Steph Curry and learn 2K just for a little bit. I don't know, bro. Like I felt like I was moving pretty well. You can chain together a lot of the animations really smoothly, and it just makes for great gameplay, you know? I figured he would probably have some of the best dribbling in the game when it comes to default NBA players. All this gameplay that I am showing you, it is raw, play now, and learn 2K content with default NBA players, right? We have no custom animations or anything right now, but you guys will be able to see some of the My Player stuff in the build maker and things like that tomorrow, as I said earlier. Now, the shooting meter is not the only green meter in this game. Of course, we have the dunk meter and the standing dunk meter, which are a lot different this year. If you guys remember, using the dunk meter, you would go down and up with your stick. However, now you'll be using the turbo button and just holding it down. From my experience, the dunking meter is a lot better. If you guys do remember, I think it was 24, where if you would get like an offensive rebound and you had a wide open dunk under the rim and use the standing dunk meter, it'd pretty much go in like every single time because you were wide open, and the standing dunk meter is like a fast animation, right? This was mentioned by Mike Wang not too long ago as well, and I did experience it myself. So yes, those wide open dunks that you had under the basket or going to the basket, you know, you shouldn't really have as hard of a time as you did last year. And dribbling itself, you know, when it comes to canceling animations and interrupting them and trying to chain them into something else, it feels a lot better. And I can't necessarily tell you guys what the meta is going to be in this 2K. You know, we still have to wait and see. But from my understanding and using all the different kinds of players in play now, I just feel like it's going to be really good all around. I want you guys to remember there are a lot of new features in the game and learn 2K, such as the quick protect. You know, you can just quickly protect the ball when you're dribbling. We have the brand new wrap passes. So, you know, when you're playmaking now, use, you know, the double tap circle, like it's the old flashy pass button to do a wrap pass. So my playmakers are also getting more options when it comes to passing the ball. I believe flashy passing has just been replaced with circle. You know, the self alley-oop meter is a little bit different. It's a different game input. When it comes to catching alley-oops, now you do press a variety of buttons. You're not really going to know what button to press until it pops up on your screen, which I think is a nice addition. So when you guys do get your hands on the game, I do recommend checking out Learn 2K for a second. If you do not know any of the new inputs, it's not really that overwhelming. It's a couple different changes that you guys should definitely keep in mind if you use things like that. But yeah, there's so many different things I feel like are really different about this game. They kind of hit the nail on the head, in 25 when it came to the rewards and stuff like that. I feel like the rewards are really good. We had the cap breakers. I think the badge system was great. As they stated earlier in the My Player Builder trailer, we do have the same badge system. So this game is definitely going to feel super rewarding as the last 2K, even though the gameplay was not everybody's favorite. So we get all the good stuff, all the good rewards back into the game. On top of that, we just get way better gameplay. Now, I'm not really a huge My Team guy. I did play against my boy Make a Miss in My Team Triple Threat Park. We messed around with a WNBA versus NBA game. As you guys know, this is a new feature that WNBA cards will be in the game. I know a lot of you guys are curious to how this is going to work with their heights and, dunking and stuff like that. But you guys will see the transition is not really as hard as people are making it seem. All the great WNBA players get amazing animations just like everybody else. They can get blocks like anybody else. And I'm sure we will even get some crazier cards when it comes to endgame My Team. And I don't really play My Team, by the way, but I wanted to get some content in the My Team park for you guys. If you do stick around until the end of the video, I will put up the match between me and Make a Miss, which was WNBA versus NBA players, and you guys can check it out yourself. We were kind of just messing around with like different animations, trying to figure out how to dribble, shoot, and stuff like that. There was the good, there was the bad, and there was the ugly. But we had a great time, and you guys can even see the small differences in the gameplay in My Team as well. And in My Team, I believe All-Star Team Up has been added to that game mode, so you were able to run 5v5 with your own cards with all different kinds of people, which I'm sure is going to be a really fun game mode, especially if you already played Rec or enjoyed All-Star Team Up in the past. Now, I know my opinions only mean so much, but hopefully you guys can actually take my opinion with some value. As somebody in this community who's a little bit more reserved and pretty honest about everything, I'm not going to sit up here and be one of those people that are say, hey, this is the greatest 2K of all time. Like, I believe that 2K26 is a really great game. And no matter who you are, whether it's SimNation, comp players, offline players, it does not matter. Like I said earlier, it genuinely feels like they did a great job trying to include everybody and making them feel important, when it comes to their own styles of play and gameplay. And keep in mind, guys, this is like my first actual hands-on with the game, so there's some ugly stuff in there, there's some cool stuff, and you guys let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys are copying NBA 2K26. By chance, if you guys do not follow me on Twitter or my social medias, I will be doing a giveaway in the near future for some copies of the game. So yeah, I want to say thank you guys. If you are new to my channel, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. I do plan on putting a lot of my life and time and effort into just, making content and chasing my dreams, sharing my creativity and my ideas with all of you guys in the community. I want to say thank you. There's so many different things to touch up on, but if you haven't gotten the chance, go ahead and check out NBA 2K26's website. You guys can see pretty much all the new features, all the same features, when it comes to gameplay and stuff like that. Go to Mike Wang's social media. He answered tons and tons of questions if you guys have not seen that yet either. Remember, tomorrow is where it gets real. We are going to start dropping our NBA My Player content. So you guys will get to see all of my NBA player builds this year. You'll get to see some early ones from me, some footage of me testing it out. And don't forget, if you play small forward, if you play power forward, drop me a sub, drop me a follow on Twitter or whatever. I got y'all all year. I'm going to be cooking up some builds for all my big players, tall guards too. Thank you guys for tapping in with me. I hope you guys enjoyed all of the gameplay. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern, if you are interested in the My Player Builder and My Player content. If you pre-ordered the game, you will be able to play it next Friday. I'm sure everybody's excited, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.